Welcome back to another fantastic Friday installment of Disinformed After Dark. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
Welcome back, Miguel. So lovely to see you here yet again.
Yeah, welcome.
You found me.
You missed out on the last Klosterman in the box of the original hypotheticals last week.
We can
So
let
I've
him
heard.
answer it.
No, we
You
can't.
remember the
Nah.
question?
Nah. That would give me an out to skip future episodes and
Okay.
Michael,
yeah,
you've
never
been out
mind.
for quite some time. It's fine.
true.
We've acclimated. But it's I have something I realized I was going to state on the episode proper this week, and I completely neglected it because in listening back, I somehow, I think, hubristically speaking, intimated that the entirety of Damn the Weather, our fantastic band, who will be returning to the stage very soon, just fell apart like a flan in a cupboard just because I elected not to play well. And I think it's not saying that I'm the band. I think for those of you who may have misinterpreted what I said, the idea is like anything, all of the component pieces help to create the beautiful melange that is music. So if one element is out of place, then everything else kind of starts slipping. It's like a clock. If one of the gears breaks, the whole machine, the mechanism itself stops working. Much like this podcast, which we proved with last week's episode. So yes, that was not me just being vain and saying, oh, well, I can control everything. It's, yeah, if someone's not just buying into the enterprise and is angrily staring at the audience and daring them to be upset, it's
Missing
not great.
pieces are very notable.
Yes. Particularly when it's just trying to be entertaining, which is usually the call.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in that group in particular making everyone have a job in every song, like having some, like not just playing to play, but like we have our very, very intentional parts in those songs. So when those are off, you can really clearly tell. So I understand what you're saying. I didn't even think weird about it.
Well, there
But
are
I've
other
also-
folks who point
I
these
was gonna
things out
say,
to me, namely
I'm
me.
one of your biggest flans. So
Well, bless you.
no. Thanks.
Anywho, so I believe John's got a little segue here and some introductory bits before we get into the show proper.
I have an announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
Your boy is playing Dead by Daylight again.
Oh.
You thought I wasn't addicted anymore. Oh, I have an addictive personality. But they released a new Killer and Survivor pack, which it's like they continually release content, and I feel like Courtney would really, really like the new Killer. No, you shake your head, but you have to just trust me. This one time, I was telling Jonah about it when I saw him earlier.
Oh no.
And he was pretty excited about it. So I'm going to show you so that you can show him later.
Ah. Oh. What am I watching?
See, did I call it?
I thought
That's funny.
I thought Dead by Daylight was like all about like Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger and
No,
stuff
Friday
like
the
that.
13th is an entirely separate game, my friend.
Yeah, and it tanked. It has the
Fair.
same system though, or it has the same idea.
Mm.
That's a fair point, but
they
I didn't
have-
know it was an anime.
It's usually not. So what they do is they have licensed killers. So like that's how they have Leatherface and
Michael
Scream,
Myers.
Michael Myers, the Demogorgon, and others. But they also create their own originals. They have their own OGs, and this is their newest original killer. And as you can tell, he is a K-pop star. And it's so out of left field. And Jonah and Courtney are two individuals that I know that definitely flux with K-pop. So I I immediately thought of them when that popped up. And interestingly enough, they announced, and this is no one cares but me. They announced that they are going to have a Resident Evil drop in June. So the next
Huh.
licensed killer and survivor are going to be, they're bringing in Resident Evil, which I think is a huge get. Oh yeah, because they have Pyramid Head as well.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
So not only did they rope in Silent Hill, but now they got the other competing franchise in the same house. So anyway, I'm back. I don't have as much time to be addicted, but I've been playing matches again, and it feels fun again. So
Guess who's back?
back again,
Johnny's back.
killing friends.
Oh, Captain Troll is fully on patrol these days.
Oh, I'm messaging bitches left and right.
I have no doubt. Good gravy. This cranberry juice is killing me slowly with its song. And speaking of songs, in fact, alluding to music, hey, listen, my Sigourney segues are impeccable, and I will not let you impugn them.
I'll peck you all over and again.
Hot.
Well, I'm going to grape you against the radiator.
Decades and decades.
So, I had mentioned previously that I wanted to play a little game. Would you like to play a game? That involves us discussing our guilty pleasure music. And, it's a palate cleanser to get us away from our good friend Klosterman and give us a second to kind of decompress. And then we talked about fun stuff on the episode about maybe the After Dark is kind of a different animal going forward. And we'll
Perhaps.
represent entirely different facets of our personality to try to make this more pleasant for you, the viewer.
Ooh. Whoa.
But if you get wood in the forest, is anybody around to get it in their eyes? Or one of those things.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting
so,
questions.
of course, as per usual, that means that I, myself, who came up with the concept, am prepared, over-prepared, some might say.
Yes.
And
yes.
Courtney, also, ever the studious soul, also prepared. Does anyone care to take a stab as to who has nothing for us this week?
Michael.
I have nothing.
And you know why I throw his name first is because if you put me on the spot and had me bullshit, I could pull it off, I think.
I mean, I could probably pull up some stuff too. Sure, why
But
not?
I feel like though, if you give Michael and I a week, we can come back next Wednesday with our list.
You want to have something curated, which is important because otherwise.
So we'll give Michael a week to come back with nothing, but I'll have something.
Yeah. John, you got to give me a little more credit than that. I didn't expect anything from you.
I know you don't.
I mean, I'm well prepared for.
Also, just before we get distracted, a good distraction, get into the list. Courtney, I did pull up the video that you sent us. So to see us out tonight. I have it ready. I don't want you thinking that it's just what boys want to watch. We'll show some chick programming here.
Jonah sings this around the house all the time, and it's just deeply upsetting to me.
Okay, so we can probably watch what is
Okay.
it it's a pop song, so what 30-40 seconds of it should get us
Yeah,
started?
you don't
I
need
mean,
to watch
it's-
a lot of it.
We're doing a reaction video. It's fine, and it's
Yeah,
not
so-
like we're going to
but we'll-
monetize anyway.
yeah, exactly.
But
Fair
we'll show that.
use doesn't
That'll
matter.
be our palate cleanser at the end after we get through these lists.
Perfect.
As though you need to get the taste out of your mouth.
I
from
was
our
gonna say-
gloriously raunchy material.
Are you already setting up the audience to be offended or somehow upset by their
This
list?
is gonna be fun.
So the problem lies in the fact that there's a dilemma, particularly between both Courtney and myself, in that we are admittedly somewhat unabashed at the fact that our taste is really variable and probably naturally subjective. So the reason I have such an extensive list of material here is, one, it's very difficult to quantify a ranking system for something I'm the most embarrassed by or something that would be the most guilty pleasure because it's kind of relative. Something that's trash to me might be the greatest thing ever to other people. And so it's kind of difficult to quantify. So I have some things that I threw asterisks by because I feel like for John, who is, uniquely familiar with my taste, might be surprises. And that's one of
Okay.
the primary things I thought would be good for me, is things you wouldn't have expected me to put on this list. But then there's some other things here that are just ghastly, and I'm not ashamed of being appreciative of. But that said, Courtney, anything you want to throw in as far as a qualifier? And I will gladly let ladies go first if you're inclined.
You should.
No,
Courtney
you
should
have to go
Courtney
first.
Courtney needs to go first.
No.
If
Yes.
she
Um,
says she wants Shane to go first, then I feel like Shane should go first.
Yes.
But I will say for my list, like Shane said, I don't take any shame in any of the things I like. I will listen
Yeah.
to trash unabashedly. So what I did was I picked 10 songs that I figured like were songs that I just put on when I'm not feeling it, or if I need like a little boost.
Mm.
And
Comfort
so yeah, like the stuff that I'll go to if I'm like I need a little extra something in my day. That some people might consider embarrassing because some of it's very genre specific, but I like it. I think it's all fun music.
Agreed. And something I have commonly said, and I think everyone's heard me say this ad nauseum, particularly probably on this show, I'm a fan of songs. And as a songwriter, it's one of the things I'm drawn to. So regardless of the genre or the artist or the situation I find myself in, I'm just drawn to if I like a song, I like a song, which is one of the reasons this is a fun exercise for me. So we're going to throw out some interesting material here. And firstly, I'm going to give myself a moment. Gargling my soul for some reason this evening. I'm not kidding. This
I
cranberry
understand.
juice is trying to kill me. Whew. Anywho, so the first one out of the gate is a big swinger, and I think I've actually probably talked about this with John before, but being a product of my time, I owned Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked
Like
about that
so
before.
many people, and that's not even the song I'm alluding to, but just to show you that I will ride the roller coaster of taste as things are thrown out. And so I actually enjoyed that record, and it's very bizarre because there's deep cuts on that record, like drip, drip, drip goes the water.
And the water
ghastly.
remembers.
Indeed, but something that I feel completely out of left field that I don't know anyone who would look at me and go, yeah, I can see you listening to that song. Mandy Moore in the, like early aughts, of course, when she was rising to prominence, had an interesting song called Walk Me Home, which is this slow moving, moody kind of ballad that for some reason, the first time I heard it, this sort of, John and I have done this with Halsey, like the affectation of certain sort of like vocal titches or titters or some of the breathier aspects can cause hairs to stand up on your neck. But
True.
yeah, the first time I heard this song, I was like, oh, Mandy. Get it, girl. I'll walk you home.
I'll
And,
give you more.
Yeah, it is a... So, yeah, that is a song I absolutely love,
Okay.
and to this day could care less whether other people know that. Another song completely out of left field, and please weigh in if you have never heard this song before or if it's something we need to explore. I imagine we will be putting together a Spotify playlist
Yes, we
of
will.
these things so that
Yep.
you can enjoy the full spectrum as we run. But
The link will be below.
indeedy, the first time I encountered the Dixie Chicks
Oh man.
was a glorious little song called There's Your Trouble. And I abhorred country music, particularly at the time. The affectation, the way that phrases kind of emerge, and sort of the way things are accentuated, I hated. That song was an absolute earworm for me, and I thought their lead singer was very attractive. So I was definitely into that one. So there's another one that I feel like is just completely out of left field. I'm going to blame this one on somebody I was in a band with, and it's her fault and not mine, but she introduced this. We started covering Die Young by Kesha, and
Nice.
I was
Okay.
very
okay.
tickled by that song, and I
I-
cannot stand her voice most of the time, but that song in particular, for some reason, triggers something interesting in me. It was I'm kind of torn between like that and Your Love Is My Drug. Those are both interesting tunes, and I thought they're very
Okay.
catchy, so I approve.
Kesha grew on me a little bit.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact that I'm sure she has myriad lewd photographs of her covered in various liquids that John's particularly partial to.
I
so.
wouldn't even know where to look.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Right.
Here's one for you, John, that I'm sure you're going to be very tickled by. Where are you, including umlauts, now? By Skrillex and Diplo with
That is
Bieber on
that
the
is-
on the vocal.
that is on the record that has no pressure on it.
And that song in particular, I was really tickled by, and I thought it was exceedingly catchy. And Bieber's got a phenomenal range. I actually really like the way he crafts melody.
Same.
He's also got an acoustic version of "As Long as You Love Me," which I was really into for a good long
Huh.
while as well. So yeah, I'll
didn't know that.
fugues with the Bieber. I'm down with that.
I like it.
Bieber fever.
He's a belieber.
Here's one that is going to make everybody laugh and probably cry. Enrique Iglesias's classic song "Hero."
Yes.
is,
Really?
Ooh, love that song. Don't know.
Wow, I
why.
did not expect it.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Also, Michael Bolton's "Said I Loved You But I Lied" is one of my absolute favorite songs, and it's disgusting. It's a horrible, horrible song, and I am loath to admit it.
Do you know what my my coworker Sheldon says? Because he appreciates music the same way we do.
Okay.
He approaches songs sonically. So I will show him songs, or he'll show me a song, and there'll be a caveat, and I've given him this caveat. I'm like, objectively, this is not a good song,
Mhm.
but the sonics, like the recording, the engineering, and production, are phenomenal.
I
So like
had
it
no
sounds
idea.
good on systems.
Mhm.
It's a terrible song, but it sounds great.
Okay. I
Polished
had no
turd is
idea
essentially what sonic.
what
Yeah,
you
well,
meant by it.
I
Okay.
can't go that route for the Michael Bolton. It's just it's trash all around, but I still like it. Won't
I mean,
kick it
he
out of
can
bed.
Belt. He can belt if he wants, if he chooses to.
This is
so
the
that's-
tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
See, and I defy
Ugh.
you to name another Michael Bolton song.
I don't know any.
See, and that's what I'm saying. That's how embarrassing this is. I can actually name. So,
Does he do a cover of "Can You Feel the Love Tonight"?
Michael,
Did he do
don't
it?
you are like a
know.
small child walking into the middle of a movie.
Indeed.
Help me! I've fallen. I can't get up.
Help me! I can't shut up.
I
I
can't.
love Elton John though to death. I am a fiend for Elton John. I actually have been
Yeah.
a couple months where I listen to nothing but. Okay. Need I go on? Is there anything else? Is there a trajectory that
Was
anybody?
that your list?
It's a smidgen of the list. That's like 6 songs.
You were supposed to do 10, I thought.
I just want to make sure I'm not boring
Yeah.
anybody to tears yet. Are we
finish-
liking where
finish
this
the
is
list.
This
going?
is great.
Go for it.
Okay. The rest of these are not prioritized, so I've just got random
Yeah,
stuff I will pull out of
Throw
the
it at the
air.
wall.
Okay. How's about "Come With Me" by Puff Daddy, P Diddy,
I would have to listen to it.
Day.
Yeah. Same.
It is him stealing Led Zeppelin's "Kashmir" and rapping over the top of it.
Okay.
It was featured on the Godzilla soundtrack. And it
Man.
is exquisitely bad, but
You and I
I
have-
love it.
You and I have talked ad nauseum about the movie soundtrack days, where the movie
Mhm.
soundtracks are actually worth the damn. And I feel like the only one I can think of that's modern and recent is the Black Panther soundtrack is an
Yeah.
excellent example of
Mhm.
like music made only to be on or the motion picture soundtrack.
Man,
I
if you
can
want,
think- oh,
no, please go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say I can think of a bad example.
It's a bad example.
Digimon?
No, that's a great
Damn.
example. Dadgup. No, most of those songs
Ah.
weren't written for the soundtrack or for the movie. They just took them. But I was gonna say there are at least a couple of songs written for Suicide Squad. Specifically,
That is a bad
Heathens.
example.
yeah.
Heathens is on the list, by the way.
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
save me.
really? Okay.
Mhm.
That's something we can jam about.
Oh, okay. But no,
You are
it's-
It's off the list.
You are going to be a rough 50-year-old, Michael. I tell you what.
I'm gonna be a rough 30-year-old.
um,
I'm a rough now.
deep cuts on that soundtrack, though. The other artists on there, just for the record, the Wallflowers, Green Day, Fuel, Ben Folds 5, like
On
it
Godzilla?
is- yes, it is ridiculous. The
Huh.
Foo Fighters are on there. Like
Huh.
it's insane how many artists they got on that soundtrack. And then in the midst of all of this, dropped in like an turd in a punch bowl, is Diddy, which is just really fun.
I,
got
I
Jordan
really
Punch
have
Bowl
to
over.
hear this song because I'm
It'll be on
picturing-
the list, son.
Yep.
Damn it.
Let's be able to just, streak it out here. All right. When You Say Nothing at All by Alison Krauss. Yet my second country tune in this, but that's kind of more
Not even a bell.
bluegrassy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Isabel's a whole nother animal. But okay, let's go. I'll include Heathens here. That seems to be embarrassing enough for everybody. I'll dig on that 21 Pilots here, and then I got a tie ball game here. Let's go Airplanes by B.O.B. because I
Oh.
love me some Haley, and I can't pass that up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that song is objectively pretty cringy.
Indeed. Closer by a Chainsmokers featuring Halsey.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
That's-
you're
yep.
giving you guys are giving. I'm glad, like, like when you were in class and people are like having to present
And
you
giving
don't
worse
wanna go
answers.
first. Yeah, and you're like, once the first couple people go, you're like, oh, I'm ready now. Like,
See, and
I'm-
this
I'm-
is the point. I want to dredge up bad stuff. Like, this is not something
feel
you
like I'm
feel
in-
great bragging about in front of a room full of people. It's like, no, this is pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are equipping me to handle
Good.
this, so.
Okay, well, here, I'll get these others out of the way. This is going to be more than 10, but just to give you an idea of where I was for this list here. Work by Rihanna. Ooh, I hated that song so much the first 150 times I got subjected to it, and then it just pains me how much I love that song. And I'll follow it up with a companion. Let's go Controlla by Drake.
Okay.
Nice.
So there you are.
I know the first. I
All
don't
right.
remember the second, but okay.
Well, Courtney,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Give
so
it.
like I mentioned, like I'm not embarrassed by anything I listen to. Like I could have done a whole playlist for you guys of like Jesse McCartney, Beautiful Soul, and like the Jonas Brothers early stuff. But I just thought that was too predictable. So I'm just gonna out myself as someone who watches anime, and
Hell yeah.
What?
I really and so we're gonna kind of go down that path of music from animes that is just phenomenal music. We also listen to a lot of Japanese funk band music. I really love big band music with like brass and like that. I think a lot of that has to do with, like, the first time I ever saw an orchestra, I was like 8. And so going to the orchestra and having that experience, like that type of music is just like, it's perfect. But since he ended on a Drake song, I'm gonna pull my Drake song out of my list and start there. Money in the Grave by Drake. I think it features Rick Ross. That song will get me so hype. I love that
Okay.
song. I don't care what anybody thinks about it. And that one kind of goes hand in hand because I always listen to them back to back. Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. I
Okay.
love the music changes and the arrangement of that song that I could listen to it for like hours on end. It's so good. I think I'm gonna save all of the more like anime ones to the end so they all kind of go together.
Okay.
Another one that it's classically I just love is Fox Mulder by Thank You Scientist. You guys opened for them. I'm obsessed with them. We own their record. I love them. We listen to them literally all day. It's so good. Let's see. And then another one would be, this is actually a song I found through TikTok. It's called Line Without a Hook by Ricky Montgomery. It's another one where it doesn't follow the natural progression of like chorus or verse, chorus, bridge. It's kind of all over the place. And I like that about it.
Nice.
And I would say the vocal on that isn't even anything super special. It's just something about the way that the song flows is like really addictive.
Okay.
Okay.
If we are going to lean more into the trashier side of things, I know, John, you've mentioned Ash Nico before.
Yep.
her
She'll be on my
song-
list, probably.
Deal With It, so catchy, just like such a bop. Could listen to that for hours.
It's a good one. I'm a fan of Bubblegum.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
It's her very first EP, and it is just it's 4 songs of just deep trap music.
Great.
And I think the chorus is "I sold my panties in Japan."
Nice.
Yeah.
So
There you
you
go.
literally meant deep trap.
Yes.
Well, I will use that as a segue into my next one, which is called Tokyo Love Hotel by Rina Sayama. She is actually a British artist who is from Japan. She has that song and then Bad Friend, which is another just like super catchy, great song. She actually, speaking of Elton John, you mentioned him earlier, she just did a song with him called Chosen Family, and that is just like amazing. I will send it to you after this.
Please do.
To be an old successful musician, and just be like, "You're young and cute. Let's do something together."
It is like her
Not
vocals
like
are just
that, Shane. Come on.
insane.
Don't hashtag me too this thing, man.
Oof.
Always
Oof.
got to ruin it, John.
Oof.
Do my best.
But yeah, her vocals, like all of her music is fantastic, but like those songs specifically stand out for me. We had to throw a K-pop in here, so Dynamite by BTS. I could listen to that on loop for hours.
Nice.
And the music video, it just makes me happy every single time I watch it.
K-pop is effective. Yeah.
It's so good. So then my last few, like I mentioned, are from animes. So the first one is called Grenje by Lisa. That is the theme to the show Demon Slayer, the original theme. It's just, you have to listen to it. It's so
I
good.
still need to watch it too.
It's an excellent show. The movie was phenomenal. Jonah and I both cried, which doesn't happen that often.
Because you're
If you can
monsters.
yeah, well, if you can see it in theaters, go see it in theaters. The animation was amazing. Just go do it.
I'm just laughing because that was my nickname when I had a harem of goth girls following me around, but that's a story for another time.
No.
Yeah, daddy.
The next one is Lost in Paradise by Ali. That was the closing song to the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Bless you.
It's one of the big band songs, so it's got some English vocal, it has some Japanese vocal, but just like the horns in that song, so good. And then that kind of also leads into my last one, which is called Flyers by Bradio. We listen to a lot of Bradio. It's another Japanese jazz kind of funk band, and it's perfect. It's so good.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. And again, you can find that list below.
We'll have the first half, at least, completed
Yes.
for Courtney and my nonsense. And I will actually, if you are inclined, I can throw everything on this ghastly list that I have, if you don't mind it being 8 hours long.
You can send it to us, but we'll keep it compact for.
I'll show you compact.
Oh no!
It's already going to be at the end of the day 40 songs.
Yeah, you're going to need a speculum when I'm done with you, son.
After Michael.
Oh man.
But speaking of guilty pleasures, are you ready?
No.
Hurt me
Are
again.
you ready, Shane?
Yeah, why not?
Michael?
Oh.
Let's do this.
Wow, we got meta for a second there.
Oh shit!
I want to go back to the video, brother.
I'm scared. There's 2 of me. That's 1 too many. That's 2 too many.
Oh,
what did
no.
you
Get
do,
me outta
man?
here. Ah.
I don't know, but I feel like I got the point. I was trying to move things around and it got all wonky.
I'm scared.
That's all right. That's why we do it this way. And I feel
Prompter's
like I got
busted.
the point, and I was about to
Do it
say,
live.
does Jonah just literally go around the apartment saying, "Daddy like"?
All the time. One of his coworkers got him started on it, and they were doing it at work, and then it came home. It was very
this is-
upsetting.
That's
It's
the
from
worst part.
2019 as well. It's an old. It's not current. By
No.
their,
Tell him
by
you're
pop-
outdated, man. That's
Wow.
old hat.
I just
Man.
figured out where John got his mustache phase from, though.
from Jonah, because he likes the ride.
Daddy like, indeed.
Daddy like.
Indeed.
I wants to
I
make
would
sure
say
you
that
floss
definitely
that
falls
butthole.
in the list.
No.
Courtney like.
No,
Oh,
really don't.
Courtney.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Okay, well, I think that is good enough for
I
the time
agree.
being. But thank you all for being here on what may be a lit fuse for Disinformed After Dark, but we'll see. This may be less frequent,
We'll
but
keep you
more
apprised.
enjoyable, and we'll just determine what's best for all involved parties. And if Daddy like, then you should perhaps listen to Michael's exhalation and inform us electronically by
Smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe, leave a comment, and
Ring the
that
bell.
bell. Yeah.
Go to hell.
Yes.
Smash the daddy
Please.
like button.
The daddy likes.
Like. We don't. I'm sorry. Never
Aw,
again.
daddy.
Who's not my daddy?
There we go.
Hallowed be thy frame. But ladies and germaphobes, we appreciate you checking in here with us. And if you want to continue to do so, of course, you can subscribe and keep up with us, get your notifications turned on. But we also have new episodes of the podcast fleeing from your preferred app that provides you this stuff every marvelous Monday morning. And of course, we're here Wednesdays and Fridays for the time being on the tubes of you at 10 a.m. Mountain Time for all of your entertainment needs. And I believe that is going to wrap this thing up like a whopper headed for a brown bag. So for Disinformed After Dark, I am Kenton Eldorado.
I am Timothy Lone Cactus.
I am Robert Greer.
Peener.
And I'm Jean Grey Ghost.
And thank you all for being here. And Donnie like to say goodbye.